Hey guys, Colorado Camperman Brian here. So I am coming to you live, or several days delayed I guess, from the Copper Mountain parking lot. So camping out here doing some snowboarding and had a pretty cold night. Really cold actually. I got the heater going and everything. And look at what the temp is in here. 10, maybe 12 degrees. It warmed up. It was pretty darn cold last night. I'm gonna see what the temperature was, but I think it was about negative 30 out. So this video I'm gonna be doing on how to camp in the wintertime with your camper. So just little tips and tricks and things that we do to try to keep as warm as possible when we're out here camping. So just to show you guys, it is negative 22 degrees out here, maybe negative 24. It is brutal. I think it was even colder last night. I think it was about negative 30 roughly, because it was only 8 degrees in the truck camper here, and right now it said 12 last time I had it in here, but I think it's a little bit warmer because I am cooking up some warm water to make some coffee and stuff. So I'll get into what we do to keep warm. Alright, so to start things off, the first thing that you want to make sure you have a lot of when you winter camp is extra propane. So this is my 20-gallon propane tank that the furnace runs off of and the stove runs off of, and then I always bring an extra. So that one's 100% full, and I pretty much make sure that they're both full before I head on out. Give you guys a little shot of Colorado here. Copper Mountain. It's gorgeous out. But it is still really cold despite the sun being out. I mean, this is in the shade, but it's like 2 degrees. So still really cold. So the second thing that you want to make sure, just like with the propane, you want to have a lot of extra either blankets or sleeping bags or something like that. My wife was going to come with me on this trip. She actually got sick, so I was just riding solo, which is probably a better thing because, like I said, it got to be 8 degrees in here last night, which is just frigid. So what I did, I just have a 20-degree bag. So I actually slept in this one, covered up my wife's sleeping bag, and then I even had a third one on top of me, which also kind of covered my head like that. And I kept warm. I mean, it's crazy. The heater was on last night. And I even was trying out this little tea light heater, or tea candle heater, whatever you want to call it. But which you can get YouTube videos on this. I'm not a believer yet. But it was still only 8 degrees in here. So having lots of extra sleeping bags, blankets, whatever, is definitely an essential part of camping in the wintertime, because I was not expecting it to be 8 degrees inside the truck camper. Normally when we camp, it's usually between 35 and 50 in here. And last night it got down to 8 degrees. In addition to extra blankets and sleeping bags, extra heavy, hoodies, long sleeve shirts, long underwear, all that good stuff is essential too, just to make sure that you stay really good and warm. So in addition to your camper's heater, it's also good to have another source of heater, another heater. This is a candle heater, and if you YouTube candle heater, you should be able to find reviews on these little types of heaters. I would not solely rely on this as your main source of heat. This is a good addition to your camper's heater. I noticed probably a 2 to 4 degree increase in the temperature in the truck camper here with having this little guy lit. But again, I would not use it as my main source of heat. Another thing that you could look into getting is a Mr. Buddy heater. I do not have one of those because Mr. Buddy says that they only work up to, I think it's 8,000 or 9,000 feet. And here at the Copper Mountain parking lot, I believe we're between 9,700 and 9,800 feet. And the other resorts that we camp at are just as high or They go all the way up to about 10,000 feet in elevation. So, and that's at the base. So that would not work. But having another heater source is definitely something that you want to do when you're camping in the wintertime. While you're winter camping, one thing that is so nice to be able to do is make some hot coffee or tea, or some soup. So you always want to make sure that you have plenty of coffee, plenty of tea, and soup with you, because man, last time it was 8 degrees out. I actually didn't drink coffee because it was 2 in the morning, but I just warmed hot water up and I just put in my little thermos cap, and as weird as it sounds, I was just drinking hot water, but it really helped warm up my core. And it's something that I would definitely recommend, to make sure that you have the ability to be able to cook either soup or water, coffee, tea, whatever your preference is. Definitely make sure you have a stove with you so you can do that. One other thing that I did last night, and you may or may not have the option to do this, is I closed the door to the upper bunk and then slept in here, because there's my heater. And it was amazing. By doing this, when I would open up this door, I mean, it was probably, I would guess, 10 to 20 degrees cooler. I mean, you can even see right now, there's frost on here. Right, there's my little boot dryer. But there's frost on that cabinet, nothing on this one. And so, if you have the ability to close off a portion of your camper and only heat one smaller area where you're going to be sleeping, that'll definitely help. So one thing that you want to make sure you do is, if there's any known areas that are not sealed or insulated properly, you want to make sure you take care of that. So this was a problem area for me. This little utility closet here, just on the other side of this foam, is where my propane is stored on the outside. And basically just surrounding the propane is sheet metal. So what I did was I cut this 2 or 3 inch foam and just put it all around here. So now there's really not a draft coming in like we used to notice. I also, since I had to cut a hole in the door to be able to put my little 12-volt socket that's hooked up to my solar panel, also put some foam here and then spray painted it black. So then when we close this door, there's not a draft coming through. So this was one real big problem area for me. The other one that was a problem area was this escape vent. I mean, you can see there's even some snow up there. This thing, you could just feel the cold air in here before I just cut this foam and put it up there. So you really want to make sure, if you find any drafts in your camper, that you insulate it or take care of that, because that will make a huge difference in how warm your camper stays. One other thing too that I did on the outside of all the windows and the vents and everything, since I just painted my truck camper not too long ago, made sure that I caulked around all the windows and stuff like that, because if there's any cracks in your caulking or anything like that, air can come in there. And you do just want to check your windows as well, just make sure there's no drafts. If you have the ability to keep your curtains closed, I've heard this can make a 3 to 5 degree difference in the heat of your camper, just by having your curtains nice and tight up against your windows. When you're winter camping, one thing you will need to consider is how you are going to have water and plumbing in your camper. So in this truck camper, all I have is a freshwater tank. With as cold as it is, there's no way I'd be able to keep this camper warm enough to not have my lines freeze. So I've winterized the freshwater tank. I do not have a gray tank in here, so I don't have to worry about any of that. So really all we do is we fill up this 6-gallon jug of water, and we basically have running water with that. So this is our drinking water. This is our dishwater when we actually do dishes. I'm going home today and I'm just gonna wash them at home, but anyhow, and then it's also, we use it for when we just wash our hands. So, and then with this, I just have a little hose. You probably can't see that. I have about a foot hose that goes from the bottom of the sink just straight outside. And that's just, we don't have a gray tank. We just dump it right outside. So this is the spigot where the sink water comes out of. We had tried putting a hose and a 5-gallon bucket on here, but the issue that we had was everything just kept on freezing up. So we just have it drain just right out on the ground, and if it's real dirty, we just, you know, kind of clean it up like that. All right, so that concludes this video here on tips and tricks while you are winter camping in your camper. One thing I do just want to let you guys know, normally it does not get down to 8 degrees in our camper. Really, it got down to -30 last night. So we have noticed that inside our camper, it's usually between 35 and 40 degrees warmer than the exterior. So for instance, right now, it's 45.8 and climbing inside here. Now the sun is out, but still, you know, as long as it's single digits out, we stay pretty comfortable in here. So if you guys do have any other suggestions or things that you guys do to keep warm, or any other tips and tricks while winter camping, feel free to post them below. Otherwise, I thank you guys for checking out the video here. Please subscribe, and we'll see you later.